Good afternoon, you're watching News Always On. I'm Kessyl Lim. Bone-chilling cold gripped much of the US as 2018 began, breaking century-old records and leading to several deaths that authorities attributed to exposure to the dangerously low temperatures. In New York, police say several crashes involving numerous vehicles on the snowy New York State Thruway east of Buffalo have closed down the highway in both directions. Authorities also reported that 22 vehicles were directly involved and there were some injuries, but mostly reported as minor. In Chicago, the extreme cold froze parts of the Chicago River and made Tuesday morning a tough one for people heading back to work for the first time since the holidays. The National Weather Service issued wind chill advisories and freeze warnings Tuesday, covering a vast area from South Texas to Canada and from Montana through New England. The cold will continue and could actually worsen for much of the East Coast this weekend because of a monster storm that's brewing in the Atlantic and Caribbean, what meteorologists are calling a snow hurricane or bomb cyclone.
You thought you were cold last year, you thought you were cold last month, but you weren't cold. Now you're cold. It hurts the face. I'm trying not to stay outside too long. Try to park close to where you need to be so that you can get there quickly, and then just walk as quickly as you can while you're getting there.
Chilling, it really stings the face, and I usually don't come out here like this. I'm normally dressed like a ninja. Only my eyes are showing. It's usually so cold, so we're surviving it. Can't let the weather affect you. You got to go do the fun things. You can't be trapped by the weather. You got to fight through it. We're Chicagoans, that's what you do.
Everybody's busy, so she was pretty much on her own, and she was my daughter, and I worried.
Yeah.
So I grabbed a few survival stuff that would help, and came down and trudged over through it, found her, and got her warm and safe, and here we are now, 2 hours later, 3 hours later.
You couldn't see a gosh darn thing in front of you. Everything was blurry. There was complete whiteout right now. You could even tell there was complete whiteout. I still can't feel my fingertips just from walking, not even a quarter, from my vehicle. It's just cold. It's so cold.
Because of the track, because of the location of this particular system, we're bringing winter weather all the way down deep into Dixie, South Georgia, northern Florida as well, getting in on the action. Certainly, a lot of those areas are going to get up to 1/10 of an inch of ice, maybe a little bit more ice, maybe a 1/4 of an inch of ice in southeast Georgia, which would be unheard of, and certainly crippling, right? Because you just don't have the resources to combat that, especially on the roadways. We get into a snow impact really by the time we get into Thursday and Thursday night in the Mid-Atlantic. Could get a dusting, could get maybe up to an inch around the 95 corridor, DC-Baltimore area, but you really have to go east, areas along the Atlantic coast. That's where we could be looking at significant snow, certainly 4 to 8 or even more inches of snow out in that area. And as we get into the Northeast, as that system continues to really crank later Thursday into Thursday night, that's where we could see some heavy snow with blizzard-like conditions across New England, but mainly, again, coastal New England. We're talking about eastern Massachusetts, Cape Cod especially, down east Maine, eastern Vermont, and Rhode Island as well. Those accumulations easily past 6 inches, perhaps up to a foot. Later Fridays, mainly northern New England, northern Maine especially, by the time we get towards Friday evening. Because of the intensification of this system, that's only going to reinforce the cold air. For some areas, this batch of cold air is going to be worse than what we've seen so far. So we're talking over the weekend behind this system as it pulls out. Highs will be 10 to 15. New York City area, for example, on Saturday. That's for highs.
That's all the time we have for now. Remember to stay warm and don't catch a cold. You can subscribe to our channel for more news and our Twitter @MingJingLiveEN. See you soon!